Tracy, copy that. Pull in on this side. We're putting here on the left. We got the space help.
Yeah, copy. Okay, here we go. Alright, we're coming in through. That's fine. That's both sides of the gate. Copy. Bobby is my marker.
Well, I guess it's time to go watch television. Good night. Alright, they should hear where it's all today.
Truck 1 and 2 are in the rest area.
Truck 2 is stepping out.
Yes, sir.
He is not far. I can hear him on the radio. How much farther?
The blue sign up here, and I see the roads up here, so I'd say within the next couple of miles off me. Oh, what's up, DP?
They will have to crank it up to get in here.
Copy, they need to crank it up in order to get in.
Copy that.
1 mile off me to the rest area.
Copy 1 mile. 10 4. Thank you. I'll try to get as far as I can in there. If I can.
Okay.
Donnie, your job is to stay back there and protect her.
Alright, there is a slow lane up here that you can get into. Taking the exit now.
Pulling out for the exit.
We're coming here, we're going to have a park on the right hand Correct.
I'll consider it. Yes, Samantha, Ossipee is a good pilot cop. Hey, there ain't no popo or anybody on that car side, right? Cool, I'll see you here in a minute. No, I'm not gonna eat it, so eat it the cost to grab.
Hello, Classic Radio Roundup 27115, your countywide radio. Hello.
Hello, countywide. Trailer Black Wide is here.
Hello, Renegade. How are you?
Okie dokie. How was that thing on Saturday?
You mean the thing on Monday?
Yeah.
I know you retired guys, your days all blend together. That was pretty good till the two medical emergencies derailed the whole thing.
Yeah, I heard about that. Did you get a seat inside?
I got a seat inside on the bleachers, right near the stage. Oh, I have a good seat. It's right at the spot where he comes in and out of.
Oh, most excellent.
gets better than that. My niece, her husband, and their daughter, I guess my grandniece, she's like 14. She went and she's all into it big time. She's pretty smart. Anyway, she got up by the railing on his way out. And then I just stayed on the bleachers, which is only a few feet back from that. I just didn't want to be mashed in the crowd. But she got up there right at the railing on the way out. Trump pulls a pen out of his pocket, waves it around, and handed it right to her. Oh, it was awesome.
Oh, that's outstanding.
Yeah, she'll remember that for the rest of her life. I got a video of it. I'm sure it's made it on the. If you watch any video coverages of him leaving, you'll see him waving a pen around on the way out, and he hands it to my grandniece.
Most excellent.
Yeah, it was really, really good. I mean, even with it being derailed, it was still kind of fun. You know, I got to see him and hear him speak and all that stuff, and you know, the room was full of energy. So yeah, overall, it was a good time.
I'm glad. Sounds like you had a good time. All right.
Yeah. Well, I had to go see him. It was being that close. I had to go.
I didn't go because I thought I wouldn't get a seat.
Well, the way to get a seat is get there stinking early. We were there at 1:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't want to do all that.
They had rental chairs, but for the line, you could have rented a chair and just moved it along into the line and sat. A lot of people were doing that. Like, I'm all right. I can stand here. It won't kill me. Of course, by the end of the night, with all the standing that I did do, my knee was on fire.
Yeah, that would have set my back on fire too. But yeah, that's like outstanding cool.
Yeah, it was way cool. It was worth all the inconvenience to go. Not that it was that much of an inconvenience. I mean, you know, we stood in line for like 4 hours. And once we got in, though, we had seats on the bleachers, which was nice because we were in early enough that we got, you know, good closed seats.
Yeah, that really is outstanding.
There was a whole lot of people that were standing, though. Man.
That would have been my luck. I'd have been stuck standing somewhere.
Could have texted me. Could have jumped the line and got in line with us.
Well, I didn't have tickets, so oh well for that.
You know, that's the thing too. Like, we registered online for tickets and everything, but when we went through, nobody ever asked us for a ticket or sign up or any. There was no proof that you had a ticket or anything. They just let everybody in.
Oh wow, that's weird.
So you didn't even need a ticket. Yeah, I thought they didn't ask for ID, no registration, ticket proof, or nothing. Nothing.
So I could have just gone and gotten in.
You could have just gone, showed up, and gotten in. Yep.
Oh.
And they basically were letting people in. They were supposed to close the doors at, I think it was 4:00. They were supposed to close the doors. No, I couldn't be right because they didn't let us in till 4:00. Maybe it was 6:00. I don't know. They were letting people in up until 6:00, basically, when the room was freaking full.
What company are you looking for, guys?
Well, I'm sorry I missed it now.
Yeah. I'm just bummed that it got derailed. You know, he only spoke and answered. He spoke for a little bit, you know, and then he answered 3 questions, and then the fat ass passed out. They took care of him, and he was getting ready to go again, And another fat ass on the other side passed out. But at that point, it was derailed completely. And I didn't think it was hot in there. Yeah, it was warm, but it was by no means hot.
Yeah, I didn't think it was hot enough to be a factor, but I guess from people standing around and waiting, this stuff kind of happens.
Yeah, well, the other thing is you couldn't bring any water in with you. Like the only thing you could bring in with you was like your ID and your wallet, and that was about it, and your car keys. You couldn't bring nothing else in. Water bottles and everything, and made you dump it. And then once you get inside, the only available water was a vending machine. Well, needless to say, the vending machine ran out like really fast. So we're in there all this time, and nobody could get any water.
Well, that kind of sucks.
Yeah, that was really poor planning on their part. One vending machine with water and sodas, and it ran out. And then, though, amazingly enough, after them two people passed out, all of a sudden the volunteers and the Secret Service showed up with cases of water and started throwing them to the crowd.
They're a little bit late.
They were a little bit late. If they would have just made water available to everybody during the thing, everybody would have probably been all right. That's the way it goes sometimes. Anyway, I wasn't going to let it ruin my night. I still enjoyed going and hanging out and dancing to music with Donald Trump.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
Yeah, he wasn't all that far away from me either. I had a pretty good view. I had a good seat.
It was a sight to see you two dancing.
Yeah, show you right. Who was that masked man?
Hey, this is Skyrider. Good evening there on the Wednesday night roundup.
Hello, Skyrider. Welcome to the Classic Radio Roundup. Spitfire 441 on my antique flea market radio.
Yeah, hi, Skyrider. This is Renegade, too. Hi, Renegade. Yeah, I thought I had to throw one in there. I was listening for a while. I was programming the radio for the 12-meter band. I finally got that tuner setting for the antenna, but as far as I know, there's not much going on 12-meter, but that gives me another band.
Yeah, if you hear skipland noise rolling along on this band, that means 12 meters is open. You don't hear anybody on, all you got to do is call CQ. You'll get somebody. But Renegade, I thought you were Renegade. I didn't know you were Renegade too.
No, I'm just Skyrider.
No, Renegade. Called himself Renegade too. Might be Renegade also.
Well, I meant also.
Just busting your shoes. Are you a general class Skyrider?
Yep, yeah, I got to print my ticket today. I tested about 2 weeks ago, and last night finally the notification came through that I was upgraded to general, so now I have a general class.
Yeah, well, there you go. You could do 10 and 12 meters with your license. So don't forget about AM on 10 meters up at 29 megahertz, between 29 and 29.1. And then you got FM at 29.6.
Yeah, I haven't tried that yet. I was up there on what is that, 28.3 to 28.59. That looks like we're on upper sideband where 10 is busy. And each time when I get in early enough before sunset, I usually make a couple of good skip contacts, California, Texas, up into southern Canada and Ontario and stuff like that, and over to Calgary. That worked out good.
Yeah. Well, that's generally how that band runs. In the morning, it goes to the east up until about noontime. You can still go east, but it'll start going west and to the south, and then later in the afternoon, early evening, it's all going west. So yeah, depending on the time of day you get in there is the direction that you'll work. But yeah, keep listening in there because when the conditions are good, you'll get Hawaii, New Zealand, Australia, Japan. You'll get all that stuff in there.
Yesterday, I heard somebody from Alaska, but he was going out with a higher power, and there was still too much noise. He didn't hear me. And yeah, you're right. In the morning when I drive to work in the mobile, I hear whole Europe every morning at the moment. Skipland is good right now. I hear the Italians, I hear especially the Brits, they come in quite strong, and Ireland, and the Germans a little bit. And once in a while, it goes south to Portugal, I think it's more the northern part, while the British come in strong and the Germans and Sweden. But that's early in the morning when I drive to work,
Yep, that's about right. Spain will be in there. Portugal will be in there. Greece, and if you get in there early enough, sometimes you get even further. You get Russia in there, Belarus, Israel, places like that. Sometimes it'll even go to the Middle East if you get in there just after sunrise. You'll be able to work like Egypt and Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, and places over there like that. So yeah, it just all depends on the conditions and the time of the day that you get in there. But yeah, the Europeans are in there aplenty. Like you said, the Germans and Swedish and Belgium, England, and all that. France, Netherlands will be in there. Norway, yeah, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, you keep working it. You'll grab other stuff as it happens. But don't forget to check out the AM portion once in a while, and the FM's kind of fun there at 29.6 just because it's different. It gets kind of busy. It has to be really good conditions or they become spotty, choppy like FM can be. But when the conditions are really good, it's amazing how well they come through on FM.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I have to check that out the next time. Yeah, on my way home, that's the trouble. When I drive home, that's when the conditions are probably the best. And with the mobile, I don't have the power to get out there. But it's also fun to listen, and you shouldn't be on the microphone when you drive down the road. Anyway, so tonight there was actually a guy in from Australia. So I'm not sure if he was running high power, but he was like the next door neighbor.
Well, if conditions are right and you hear them, 100 watts is enough power to work them, and then not necessarily, they don't have to be that strong. And I think some of them countries are limited to 400 watts of power, so they're not running the kind of power we're allowed. A lot of Europeans are restricted to 400. I'm not sure about Australia. They probably are allowed more than 400, but most stations ain't running as much power as you think. So a lot of it's just conditions, but yeah, don't forget to, there's other things to check out, AM and FM on the occasion. And last solar cycle, I was running mobile, and I only ran 25 watts in a 102 quarter wave whip, and I was working all over the place with 25 watts. So it can be done mobile too.
Yeah, understood. If I would be stopped or so, I probably one day I'm gonna try, but it's at the moment it's just entertaining, Alley Cat is once in a while in there, up on 36, 37, 38.
Yeah, but then you'll be spoiled on 10 meters because you can actually have the frequency to yourself and you can talk to the guy in the clear without having to weed your way through 100 other stations all talking at the same time. It's kind of nice. But yeah, 28.3 to just above 28.5 for upper sideband. That's usually the busiest DX. That's where you'll find the most of it. When things get really crowded, they'll start moving further up the band, and then you know the band's in really good shape. If people get up as far as 28.6 and up in that neighborhood, you know the band's open when it gets crowded.
I worked 132 different countries with 80 watts. Yep, it's I'm working right now. I'm working up a plan. I think I have a plan for my antenna. I repriced steel with a local supply house for the two outer. I still have to think what I'm going to do in where the palm is hanging. If I just I don't know. If I have a steel pole in the center with the palm, I have to look how that works out. If not, I have to put a piece of PVC on top of the steel and get the antenna away from the steel posts there. On the ends, it's not a problem. You just put the posts 10 or 20 feet further out and put rope there.
What kind of antenna are we talking about?
Off-center fat dipole, 80 meters, 135 foot. I'm going to put that in my backyard. Unfortunately, I don't have trees. I have 65 acres, but around the house I don't have any mature trees that I could use to put the antenna up. So, but when you put up a dipole, if you have to be careful with if you use steel poles, that they don't resonate with the antenna.
Well, that wire antenna is good for the lower bands, 20, 40, and 80. But on 10, 11, and 12 meters, you should be using the vertical antenna you're using here now. It's going to work better on these bands.
Yeah, I can use that while I have a switch, and my tuner can handle two antennas, so I don't even have to put an extra switch in. I just switch it over on the tuner. I run right now on antenna 1, and when I have the second antenna, I have antenna 2. So it's just a push of a button. It's getting nicer. It's not swapping cables anymore.
Oh yeah, I get it. I got all my antennas on switch boxes here. I can switch around to multiple different antennas on one radio, depending on the band or what I'm trying to do. Different antennas for different things. But your vertical antenna is going to work better on 10 meters than that dipole will.
Oh yeah, it works good. As you know, that Anytone puts about out 25, 30, maybe 35 watts. And I work California pretty much every day. The first contact I make is somewhere in Southern California or in Western Texas, So that works great on 10 meter. And I don't know, did I ever make a far contact on 11 meter is too busy. But it works, and actually that's what I did tonight. I hooked up the VNA and found my antenna tuner settings for the 12 meter band. So now that's the nice thing on that Anytone. I programmed the 12 meter is a very small band there. I programmed the 12 meter band in there, so now I can play around there too, see if there's anything going on.
Oh yeah, it'll be going on. It'll stay open longer than 10. It opens up earlier than 10 and stays open longer than 10. Same thing with 15 meters. I give 15 meters a try too if you can get there. I don't know if the only radio you have is your Anytone or if you have an actual HF radio yet. I guess you don't, because the actual HF radio is going to do 100 watts. But yeah, start out with what you got and you can worry about the rest later. But yeah, you'll have a good time. It's a good time in the solar cycle to get on 10 and 12 meters. And yeah, there's only 60 kilohertz worth of bandwidth for voice on 12 meters. But it's a well working band. You don't need a lot of power to get anywhere.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it out probably tomorrow. Did I see thing is, the 12 meter, I don't have to reset the radio. If I go on 10 meter, I have to reset the radio. There's a couple of push of buttons, and then I push my settings from my PC onto the radio, like the filters and what I do, the SWR shut off, I put down to 3, so in case if I haven't hit the right button on the tuner so that the thing doesn't blow itself up,
Yeah, you'll be all right. Yeah, you sound like you're going off in the right direction. So, yep. Wait till you get a 100-watt HF transceiver, and then the party really starts. Because 25, 30 watts isn't really that much weaker than 100 watts on the S meter. It's only like an S unit or less. So it's really not that big of a difference.
Yeah, but it gets you over the mud, gets you on top of the pile. And the reason why I say that, I have a neighbor here. I made the acquaintance yesterday on 10 meter. He's about not even a mile from me, and he just got his technician license. And I looked at his log. He is already he has a Yaesu 710, and he's all over the world with that thing. So I'm really getting antsy now on getting that other antenna up and get another radio. And I just saw on the AM radio outlet that it is 710 dropped under $1,000 for a special. I think they're taking that second speaker off and making it a cheaper package, but the second speaker can be added later. I might go back to the other radio. This one's got a lot of static on it tonight.
Yeah. Well, you'll have fun. You're getting your feet wet now. At least you got a radio to get in there and have fun. And 10 meters right now is the queen of DX. That's where you're gonna work all over the place with not a lot of power or effort. So yeah, it's a good place to get your feet wet and get out there and have fun. I don't do so much sideband anymore on 10 meters. I'm almost exclusively on AM, but I've worked all over the world on 10 meter sideband, and the contacts tend to be shorter, and I've gotten to the point where I want to talk to these people for a while further away, and the AMers are more inclined to sit back and talk for a while. So it's just a change in my direction is all, but nothing wrong with chasing it all over on DX and sideband, especially when it's all new. Lord knows I had my share of fun there. I have fun on the radio wherever I go because I'm the county-wide radio.
Hey, good evening, dear.
I don't know. I just don't know. I need to get me a big strapping radio on house.
Who else is here for the Classic Radio Roundup? 27115 on the AM radio dial. Spitfire 441.
Up and down. I quit talking, and it drops in about 275. I start talking, it takes up to 4.5, so. Yeah, it was raining again.
Oh, man, it's just the three of us tonight then.
The box can take the bundle.
Well, that's okay. Where Alley Cat and JR are.
Yeah, there's no telling where the Alley Cat or JR is, but I think I hear the Idaho Tater State Menace. I think that's him.
Yeah, I have somebody coming in on skip too, but I can't really make him out.
I think that's the Idaho Tater State Menace. How about a Tater State Menace? Is that you out there in my radio? Come on. He's probably got 70 stations in his receiver. He can't pick me out.
Hey, Pete.
Rooster!
Oh,
County-wide.
radio.
Well, there's four of us now. It's official. We have a quorum on the Classic Radio Roundup.
Are we all drinking now?
I am.
Me too.
All right, two of us are drinking. We're not drinking alone.
No, I'm drinking. With the first one, and I would have to go downstairs to fill up.
All right, well, there's three and a possible fourth.
I'm a drinking.
I'm a drinking. Wayne's a drinking, and Skyrider was a drinking.
I'm jumping up to 15. Talk to Beezer once in a while.
Yeah, I was talking with him a little bit before the roundup.
Yeah, I heard you.
10-4.
You know, on this side, I do my own stuff here. I leave the electrical to the professionals. I don't want to end up.
How do you like this antique radio I'm on?
Sounds good, Pete. Give me a 7-pounder.
Utica, Town and Country.
Respect to you and yours. God bless.
I heard that one.
It's an oldie, probably from about 1964.
Things with my hands and try and stay in the shadows.
What year is that Golden Eagle I have, you think? Mark IV.
The Mark IVs? Oh, it's at least 77 or later because it's 40 channel.
Oh, yeah, right. Never thought of that. I think it goes up to like 95.
Well, not unmodified, but anyway, yeah. I had a 4, and it did digital display and all that. But yeah, it's got to be 77 or later. I don't know when they stopped making them.
Hey, you got on channels 90 and stuff.
Can you? Well, yeah. If it does it, it can.
Yeah, I didn't try it. I have no reason to go up there.
Yeah. 20 years ago, I was free banding, but I gave that up 20 years ago. Actually, more than that now. Time flies. Somewhere in the late 90s, I gave up free banding when I got my general class ticket. I was like, I don't need this free band junk no more.
Yeah, Chicken Picker has some more you to get rid of it if anybody wants one.
Say that again?
Chicken Picker has some more of these Golden Eagles.
Oh, last thing I need is another radio. Unless it's a K7 DYY Super Senior. Other than that, I got no desire for any more radios. In fact, I got some for sale.
2112, I appreciate it, sir.
Yeah, what do you got for sale?
You're booming in here.
Oh, Realistic, Midland, Cobra, Pierce Simpson, Regency, J.C. Penney. Got a bunch of stuff here I get rid of.
What Simpson is it?
Hang on. It doesn't have sideband. It's an AM. Hang on. Super Links. That's a good radio. That's a good talker, that one, that Super Links.
Pierce Simpson, right?
Yeah, Pierce Simpson Super Links. It's the model right below the Simba. Sell you a package deal on 4 J.C. Penney radios. For the right price, I'd even sell this Utica.
How about a good HF radio?
The only HF radio that I got to part with is an oldie. It's a Swan 260, and it's an all tube radio. It's kind of interesting, but it's really super, super basic. If you're interested in that, it is a 100-watt radio. It doesn't do 100 watts on 10 meters, but it does 100 watts on 40 and 80. It does like 60 watts or so on 20 and about 30 or 40 watts on 15. And I think it does like 10 watts on 10. And I don't know why that is, but it's just the way that it is. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably I would be interested if I would had already on the radio, just that have something that age sitting up there, and just for the glow of the tubes.
It's a really good radio. I mean, the only thing is it on the higher bands, it drifts frequency a little bit. I mean, it's pretty old. It's from the 60s. And it was the bottom end cheapest radio of the Swans. And it's all tubes, so there's not a whole lot of controls. There's an RF gain, there's the drive and the final tunes, and that's pretty much it. But it has really good audio. There's not even a mode switch. It automatically changes mode. So automatically goes to lower sideband on 40 and 80 and automatically upper sideband on 20, 15, and 10.
That's interesting. Yeah, like I said, after I have my first ham radio, something modern, with transistors and all that good stuff, then I probably would look at just for the fun of it to have one of these old radios too.
It's a fun radio to get on the air with because people that have been around a while know what it is, and they're surprised at how good it sounds and works and all that. But it's a super simplistic radio, and it's all retubed. It has all good tubes in it, and everything works great. And the final tube is a 16oct24, brand new. The tube is like $75 nowadays. I don't think I paid that much, but that's what you're going to pay for one now. I'd let the whole radio go for $100. Has a hardwired hand stock microphone, but it's got really good audio. And a microphone is like this I don't know what it's made out of, but it's some kind of steel. And in an emergency, you can use it as a weapon and knock somebody out with it.
Here you go. Dual action.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you could use the microphone for self-defense. Swing that bad boy on the cord, hit somebody upside the head, they're going down.
Yeah, I have some little things that fly around that take people down too.
Well, yeah, but if somehow somebody snuck up on me and I was working that radio and I couldn't get to the wireless hole puncher, then I'd just swing that microphone and hit them upside the head and do the same thing.
Absolutely. None of my radios are a defensive weapon.
Have you ever seen my Swan 260, Wayne? I mean, you were here and it was here. I just don't know if you noticed it or pointed it out.
Yeah, I just didn't notice it. I wasn't looking.
Yeah, it's nothing really all that special. The only reason I bought it is because I got it cheap at a Hamfest, and it was fun to play with, because it's so bare bones. There's not even a stinking volume control. You got to use the RF gain as the volume control. It's kind of ridiculous, but the radio works. There's no S meter, but there is a green eye tube for modulation and tuning.
I got like 6 amateur radios, and except for this one, they all need to be converted and opened up. I just haven't found somebody to do it yet.
Well, there's no converting or opening up the Swan. It just does what it does, and it doesn't do anything else.
All my radios are good for the ham bands, but I can't go outside of the ham bands except for this radio.
Yeah, it's not even a general coverage receiver. It's only ham bands only. Maybe a little bit outside on either edges it would go, but there's not even general coverage. And there's no mode switch.
I'd really like to have my Kenwood 590 converted. But like I said, I can't find anybody to do it, and that's like, I looked it up, and it says unless you have the ability to do microprocessor stuff, don't even attempt it.
I thought we went down this road of conversation before and looked that up, and there was nothing to it. I vaguely remember reading it and thinking that I could do it, but I'd have to read it again.
Yeah, well, I don't have the right equipment to do microprocessor stuff, and you need to clip out a microprocessor to open it up, and I just don't have that available to me.
That doesn't sound right. Most of them are bridge a solder pad or unsolder or a resistor of some sort. I don't ever remember having to mess with microprocessors to Mars modified radios. I don't have my phone or my tablet's in duty on video gates where I'd look it up. Remind me again when I'm not recording. I got my tablet. I look it up, and I thought we did this once before, and I thought that I could.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. We did discuss it before, and you said you have the capabilities to do it, but I just haven't had it done yet.
Well, you'll have to remind me of these things. You don't expect me to remember.
Okay.
Yeah. If I'm not doing nothing Monday or Tuesday or whatever, grab me when I'm on, hanging around. And Sunday night, remind me or something. I swing by or look it up or we'll figure it out.
I have 3 other radios that I could probably do the conversion on them. I have an ICOM 725 and a Kenwood 450, and then I have the newer radio. It's a Kenwood 590 that you need to have microprocessor equipment to do it.
You need to sell one of them radios to Skyrider there, so he doesn't have to spend $1,000.
Well, that is a thought.
You're not using all of them. You're not going to convert them all. Sell one of them to him so he can get in there on HF while things are hot. And he doesn't have to sell the farm.
I have to check out the ICOM 725. Yeah, last time I hooked it up, it worked just fine, but I haven't had it hooked up for about 4 or 5 years.
I'll trade you 4 JC Penney radios, 2 Cobra radios, and an SBE Trinidad for one of them.
The Kenwood 450, I would like to convert it and use it myself.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind finding some, older, fully capable HF rig, just to have another one put in the garage or something, because I got stuff that I could put there, but they're not quite the same. The only HF rigs I got is my boat anchor AM station, my modern Yaesu, my my 2-meter all mode radio that I got the reverse transverter on, so that does HF, and that Swan. That's all I got for HF radios. I'd like to have something else.
Yeah, that's why I'd like to have the Kenwood 450 done. And that's easy. That's just go in and clip out a resistor.
Yeah, just remind me on a Sunday night, and if I don't have anything scheduled for Monday, you know, I'll swing by and, you know, we can take care of it.
Yeah, I'd like to have one more radio that is open up. I was letting Dennis use my my ICOM 725 for a while, so it was working when he had it.
Well, that don't necessarily mean it's working now after he had it. I did this modification to I got this Kenwood, you know, TS700A, which is an analog all mode 2-meter radio, and then that drives my reverse transverter, and it can do the 5 major HF bands. But I got to thinking, and I was like, oh, it also has fixed crystal channels. You know, you could put crystals in it from back in the day. You can put your repeater pairs in there or whatever. And I found out what the fundamental frequency was. And so I modified this VFO that I have, a tube-driven VFO, to run in that frequency range, plugged it in a crystal slot, and I could freaking do 11 meters with my 2-meter rig through the reverse transverter. I don't do it anymore. It was more of an experiment to see if I could, but I still have all the stuff. I could hook it back up. I could put my 2-meter radio on 11 meters. And I just did it so I could say that I did it.
Well, that's another excellent item to have done.
It's all about the experimentation. Like, can I do it? Watch me. I'll figure it out. So I did. So I plugged the VFO into the crystal slot, and then I could tune it all through the whole 11-meter band. And when I was working at Congolium, that was my only radio I had down there for a while. So I could talk to the local boys on channel 15, and then I could work, you know, DX on 10 meters and 40 meters if I wanted to, because they're the only antennas I had. So I had, like, you know, everything I needed in one radio.
That's like this radio. I can go anywhere. I can transmit anywhere it receives now. So this is like my go-to radio.
Well, this is a 6-channel radio, the Utica Town and Country. It's only 6 channels, crystal controlled, with a 23-channel tunable receiver. On Classic Radio Roundup, 27115 on your AM radio dial.
Yeah, where's everybody at?
Well, Bagger's working the overnight shift, either last night or tonight, so I kind of knew he wasn't going to be here tonight. But I don't know where everybody else is.
Hi, Rooster. Hello, who we got there? It's Wayne, Renegade. You're not that loud. Well, I'm doing the best I can. So you were louder before. Well, whatever, don't matter. I didn't hear you. Yeah, the problem is my antenna needs it. I need to take it down and make sure the match is right. It's like 1.9 to 1. Yeah, 10-4 on that. It's close. I can use it with this radio, but for general purposes, I need to get it fixed.
How's this radio sound, Rooster? Countywide.
Sounds good. 7 pounder.
Is it loud?
Yep, it's loud.
That's all I need to know with my glowing glass antique flea market transmitter.
Louder than everybody else.
It's that high level plate modulation.
What radio is that?
Utica, Town and Country 2.
And how's this radio sound down there?
Louder than everybody else.
Yeah, 29.95.
I'm sorry.
Is that a tube radio?
1964. They didn't have transistor ones yet. Maybe they did. Maybe. But no, it's all tube.
Okay, what other radios do you have?
What other radios do I have? Well, how deep in your pockets you want to dig?
I don't know, just the base ones.
For the right price, I'll sell my Demco, but you're gonna have to dig deep.
Yeah, I don't want to go $400 or $500.
Well, that won't even get me to talk to you for that. It's going to have to dig deeper. I got a B&K Cobra 98 tube radio I'll sell you for a good price.
I don't want no tube radios. I got the Golden Eagle up enough.
Well, I got the only base radios. I got the J.C. Penney Pinto SSB, Cobra 142 GTL, the Pierce Simpson Super Lynx, Navajo 441. I got a Midland. I don't remember what the number is, but it's a base radio with extra channels. Well, it's a 23 channel, and the extras get you up to 40, so it's not really extra.
And boy,
That's a cool radio, actually. That Midland. It's a 3-knob base station radio, wood cabinet with the stock mic, and with the stock mic, it's freaking loud.
and what's the name of that one?
Hang on.
You don't have to worry about it if you don't want to.
13879B.
13879B.
Yeah, I'll let you have that one for a good price. It's a loud radio, good receiver, and 23 channel with modification that'll get you to 40. Realistic CB phone, I'll sell that.
There's a Midland 13898B on here for $30.
Yeah, but that's not what it is. It's an 879B.
Yeah, I know. That popped up. That's all.
Got a SBE Trinidad. That'll cost you more than just a little. That one's a cream puff. That one's train approved, both cosmetically and audio. Oh, you don't want no tube radios, huh? I got a Sonar FS23, but that's a tuber.
What are you having a yard sale?
Oh, yeah, there's something else I want to buy. So I want to sell all this other junk I'm not using.
I know what you're going to buy there. Man, you're really wolfing it out there. We're going to have to go over there and have an auction.
Well, whatever it takes. I'm keeping my Shakespeare, keeping my Courier, keeping my Demco, and I'm keeping my Titan. Everything else is going to go.
Right, Joe. Well, good luck. Anyway, good evening. And I'm going to get out of here for a little bit.
Get out of here for a little bit? You only popped in for a little bit. Holy moly.
I'm in and out. See you. Bye.
That's what she said. Jeez.
Yeah, that was a quick in and out.
Man, that was a wham bam. Thank you, ma'am. Holy moly.
You don't sound like regulars on 13. Who out there?
There's no regulars on 13. We're all irregular.
I appreciate that, and I got a comeback. 314 Zip Tie, Boise, Idaho.
Hey, Zip Tie, Boise, Idaho. Spitfire, 441, Pennsylvania. You made the classic radio roundup video gate.
441, Pennsylvania. You're coming in here loud and clear. I appreciate it. You all have fun out there on 13. It's a wild night.
All right there, Zip Tie. Hey, man, thanks for stopping by, and I'll post the gate up if you're on the Idaho faceplant page there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm on the Idaho faceplant page. We out here, a bunch of us. 314 Zip Tie, Boise, Idaho, 696 Peg Leg. A bunch of us out here trying to get up on the waves. I appreciate it. Pennsylvania to Boise. I'm out the way.
Yeah, tell that Tater State Menace the Spitfire said hello. Check out the video gate tomorrow. I'll post it up on your faceplant page. Spitfire 441 on this antique Utica radio.
10-4, 10-4. You're sounding loud and clear. I appreciate it, sir. I'm out the way. I will definitely wave my hand at 696. Y'all have a good night out there. 314, tip of my hat.
Yeah, hey man, Zip Tie, thanks for the shout. Sounding good on the classic radio roundup. Old Spitfire 441 on this antique flea market radio.
Hey, good evening, Spitfire. I'm out here sandbagging it. Hope you guys having a good day over there in Pennsylvania.
Oh, there he is. There's the Tater State Menace. Howdy, howdy, man. Holy moly, you're stronger than some of my locals coming in here tonight.
Yeah, he comes out 5 to 7. She done hooked us up tonight. Definitely making a good trip out here to the Tater State.
Oh, yeah, man. Yep, you made it to the first, 1 hour. Look, go to around the 1 hour mark on the video gate when I post it up tomorrow. You'll see how you're pushing the meter on this old Utica town and country.
Yeah, Roger. Okay. Yeah, looks like she done took you away for a minute again, so Spitfire, hope we do it again, no problem. 696 a minute out here in the Tater State, the city of trees. I'm back off the key.
Hey, Tater State Menace. Man, you sound like a local. Check out the video gate tomorrow when I post it up, and you'll see you're up in my S9 here on my old antique Utica town and country. Tater State Menace. Spitfire 441 in the Keystone.
Alrighty.
Oh, man.
Go ahead and bring it on back. Something giant. Kick it on back out here with the Menace.
Man, it's going to be hard to talk to my locals with the Menace coming in like that.
I heard him real good, too.
I guess that's Sunday nights.
Yeah, he was just about as strong as you are, Wayne, almost.
Damn.
You're over the S9. He was right at the S9. This antique flea market, Utica, town and country.
You still around yours up there, or you still around the channel? Yes.
And here I thought the skipland conditions were fading out because the signals were going down. And there comes the Tater State booming in like a bunch of locals.
Bad 314, where'd you go? Thank you, channel break. Go ahead. Hey, Spitfire, how you doing? It's Renegade.
Yo, hello, Renegade. What's going on?
Hey, man, Idaho's coming in here booming, man.
Yeah, it happens that way sometimes. Them same boys from Idaho, when they come in, man, they come in like they own the place.
He cleaned my receive, man. He was sitting in the 10.
Yeah, Tater State Menace there was giving me a good solid S9 on this antique Utica. Just because it's old doesn't mean it's obsolete.
Amen.
This receiver is hot on this thing. It really works well.
Yeah, Skip's running wild up on 17 right now. All Midwest and West.
I don't mind Skip Land when I can talk to them. I don't like it when it's a big old mess. I don't mind like when them Tater State boys roll in here because we kind of know them. But when everything's all on top of each other making a mess, like I'd rather they just go elsewhere.
I hear you. Same here. Just sounds like just a bunch of guards. It's just noise. It's just racket.
Yeah. If it's just a bunch of racket and I can't talk to you, it's useless. But the way the Tater Steak was coming in, that was pretty good. I'm fine with that kind of skip. Hope all's well down your end there, Renegade. Haven't heard you in a while.
Been busy, man. Been very busy at work. But yeah, when it goes up, I used to had a couple of health issues in June, but nothing that wasn't able to be corrected.
Well, I'm glad that's all in the rear view mirror then. And yeah, work can be that way sometimes. But yeah, like I'm busy or not, but my schedule doesn't change, which is good.
Is that Renegade John?
That's the one. Say hi, Rooster.
Renegade.
Renegade John, you hear the rooster?
You know what? I can't. My noise level just spiked. I don't know what's going on, but my noise level just went up 2 dB.
Oh, man. Well, at least you hear me, I hope.
Yeah, you're just getting above the noise level. Hey, John!
I'll make it easier on you. There. Now I should be a little bit more above the noise level.
Yeah, you're above the noise level now.
All right. I don't want to be covered up by noise. That'll hurt my feelings.
Hey, Pete.
Rooster!
Ask John if he still has some cement squares.
If he has what?
Cement slabs he had.
Cement slabs?
Yeah, they're by 1 by 3 or something.
Renegade John, you still have cement slabs? Rooster wants to know.
Can you say that again?
Rooster wants to know if you still have some 1x3 cement slabs or something like that?
Yep, the slate. Yep, still have them.
Oh, slate slabs. Okay, Rooster, he says yes.
You back on here? Okay. I gotta come down there and get them.
He says, okay, he's got to come down there and get them. So I guess y'all have to talk when things are less noisy.
Yeah, we talked about that about 3 years ago. Yeah, if you can hear me, tell me if you can, because you rolled a nickel. Tell him just to shoot me a text.
Did you hear that or no?
Yes, I heard him. I have his number.
He can hear you, John, and he has your number.
Great. Awesome. Thank you.
10-4. Roger.
Yeah, maybe next month I'll go down there again. I still need them.
Well, he says he's still got them.
10-4.
Roger. 10-4. On the Classic Radio Roundup Swap and Shop.
Out of Lafayette, Telstat.
Is that what you're on now?
No, I was just wondering if the radio was any good.
Yeah, Lafayette Telsat. Yeah, that's a good radio. I had one at some time in the past. I think you ought to just bring your money over here and spend it and walk away with a handful of radios.
Royce Tram, vintage Tram D201. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, you got to be careful with them Tram D201s though. There's 3 different models and different designs, and they all usually need the 100,000-mile tune-up. If you don't know how to work on radios, you probably don't want one of them.
You're right. They have a 2995 one in here for 1100.
That's kind of ridiculous. Sell you Pierce Simpson Superlinks for $25, and it'll sound better.
Oh yeah, I might buy that off you. Why not?
The clock doesn't work. If the clock worked, I'd want more, but the clock don't work. But it's a good talk and good receiving radio for sure.
Bring it on. This vintage Royce looks nice too, a 640.
I think Dave has a 640. He has a Royce something 642, or he has something like that.
I actually broke down a couple hours ago and turned my furnace on. I had a Robin 123.
That's a tube radio. That's a good radio, but it's a 23-channel tube radio.
Yeah, it looks pretty nice. $160 though.
It's probably worth it. Panasonic chassis, as long as it's all clean and working right, it's worth it.
Back from Nampa.
Any of them Panasonic chassis tube radios are good talkers.
Roger. And that static rail tonight is from Bird, almost 6 pounds. Just kind of affordable stuff. Like back in the days. Back on my 29, I don't know if you can really tell how much difference there is no rocket. A vintage Challenger 1200 TRS.
Yeah, the TRS Challengers, you're going to have to dig deep in your pockets for them. They're high-end radios there. They're all solid state, but they're kind of rare-ish. I won't say rare, but they're rare-ish. And they're all high-end radios to begin with, so you better dig deep in your pockets.
Who made that?
Challenger TRS.
Never heard of it. They want $330 for it.
That's actually a reasonable price for one of them things.
Yeah, it looks nice too.
Yeah, they were really expensive when they came out.
I'm looking at one. Actually, I got one. I got a TRS Challenger 1400.
But you have one?
Yeah, I got a 1400 and I got the 850 mobile.
There you go. Renegade John's got the 1400 and another one that's a mobile. I've never seen the mobile.
And mobile is very difficult to come by. I think I've seen 3 of them for sale in the last 10 years.
Yeah, I don't even think I ever seen one. I've seen the base models, the 12 and the 1400, and there's something else. I don't remember. Didn't No Streak have one of them?
Nah.
I thought one of you 15 guys did. Maybe it was you.
Yeah, I'm the only one that I know in this area that has one.
Yeah, it must be you I'm thinking of then.
They work really, really well. The receiver on them's awesome.
Yeah, well, I would expect that just in the design of the radio by looking at it. You could tell it's a cut above.
Man, what's got these fresh back strands? The noise level just dropped off.
Ah, somebody turned something off in your neighborhood or nearby or in your house.
Yep, I'm out here.
Carry on with the Classic Radio Roundup. I gotta step out and refill my adult beverages. Countywide.
Radio. Radio. The rooster, give a shout. Maybe I can hear you now. Renegade. Yeah, there you go. Now I can hear you. The noise level dropped off. Yeah, I got 1 pound noise down there. Yeah, next month is you'll have to come down there and get them and I can look at your radios. Yeah, shoot me a text. Yeah, I still gotta finish that porch, three years ago, right? What's that? I started on that porch, 4 years ago? And I was gonna get them stones off you. It was a little bit ago, yeah. I think it was just after the pandemic started. They're still sitting there. I never got rid of them. They're still there. Okay, I just gotta get on that and get down there and get them. I'll get Porky to come down with me. Yeah, 'cause I usually talk to you down there. Yeah, I usually can hear you. It's just there for a little bit, man. My noise level jumped up to almost 7. Yeah, I run a Fat Boy 4-pill. There you go. What are you running? I'm on President Lincoln and I'm running an old Palomar 4-pill. Yeah, they're good. They're good amps. Beezer likes those. Yeah, this one's like, oh God, almost got to be close to 40 years old. I write myself a note. You know that 2-pill I bought off you? You still have it? Still have it and still works great. Yeah, it's a kicker, man. That thing puts out, doesn't it? It puts out, I think, 200 RMS, but it puts out 450. Yeah, that thing's, I tell you, it's a talking little box. An old Fat Boy likes that 2-pill Toshiba's and put out 450, 500, and 200 RMS, but I sold it to Night Train. And then yours came along. It was perfect. I didn't want to sell it, but he wanted it, so. Yeah, sometimes you got to help out another operator.
I hooked me up with this 29.95, so I had to sell him that. But that thing was indestructible. Hey, that exports I got off of you worked just as good, if not better. I have a Dave made 4-pill too that plugs into the wall. It does a little bit more, but
This noise is starting to creep up again. We'll go on the side for a little bit. I'll be right back. This is going to be on the side.
okay, John.
don't hear a whole lot going on the Classic Radio Roundup.
I didn't hear anything either.
Man, walk out of the room for a minute and that's it.
Terrible, huh?
Yeah, we're missing a whole lot of people like the Joker, the Night Train, 123, the Goose, a whole bunch of people missing.
Yeah, and I couldn't hear Renegade from Westchester.
Huh. I would think that you would hear him. He's coming up here pretty good.
No, I couldn't hear him at all. And I was disappointed at that too. But then again, I gotta get this antenna matched, you know?
Yeah, I don't think that's really the difference. I'm just surprised you couldn't hear him.
You're right. I should put it up another 20 feet.
Yeah, but then you got to worry about it blowing over.
Well, that's why God invented guy wires.
Well, if you can get it up that high, go for it.
I'll do my best.
Yeah, if I remember right, he's giving me like S7, S8. I would think you'd hear him.
Don't hear him at all, and I heard him fine when I was in Norristown.
Yeah, it must be a topography thing. Because there is a big hill on the other side of the Schuylkill there going south.
Well, I noticed that 10 feet more of height, I hear things much better now.
Yeah, you could hear Bite Buster.
Yeah, on Sideman, like I could have a conversation with him.
Yeah, I think that's farther away than Westchester. Maybe not. It might be about the same.
Yeah, I think if I get this antenna up another 10 feet, it'll make all the difference.
I know when I went from 50 feet to 85, it made a huge difference.
Oh, I know. You hear stuff I can't even hear.
I hear stuff nobody else on this channel hears except for maybe JR and Sandbagger. And Night Train. Yeah. Night Train, Sandbagger, and JR. I think all of us hear pretty much the same stuff. The only thing that messes Bagger up is he's not moving his antenna around. That's where he falls out.
Yeah, like I said, I have 20 foot of mast under the antenna right now. If I put another 10 feet under there, I think that would make the difference.
Yeah, 30 feet's a good height.
Mine's about 38 feet to above an antenna. Well, I could do that too. I have 20 feet of mast here. 20 feet of tower. If I put that 20 feet of mast on top of that 20 feet of tower, that would put me at 40 feet, and I wouldn't have to worry about the tree right next to me interfering from that either. It put it above the tree.
Yeah, 40 feet from 20 feet would make a big difference. And I'm 85 feet to the bottom of the antenna, and that made a huge difference to get me out of this volcano crater.
Yeah, but you needed that. It's working fine now.
Yeah, I needed that to get over these stinking hills that are close in. You know, it's not like they're high hills far away. They're high hills right here.
Yeah, I think that's my problem too. I'm just not. I'm higher than I was, and I hear a whole lot better, but it's not quite right.
Yeah, you still have a better open area than I do. You don't have them hills as close in as I got them.
Yeah, no. The hills are far away, but I'm not above them.
Well, I'm not quite sure if mine's above the highest hills. I'm certainly above most of it, but not all of it.
Yeah, well, putting that 20 feet of mast under the, or 20 feet of tower underneath that mast would require a different approach.
Yeah, I think you'll notice a good results just getting it up at 30 feet.
I've noticed results better now with just 20 feet.
Yeah, every little bit helps. Can't work them if you can't hear them. Who's the breaker?
Meatball Bandit.
Oh, hello, Meatball Bandit. It sounds like you got some kind of hum or something going on, I think. Your transmissions just says short, I can't be sure.
Is it Night Train? Yeah, I'm playing around Mobile Max by Static. I'm not sure how well it's going to work.
No, I'm not Night Train, but I'll take that as a compliment. I'm the Spitfire, 441, and you definitely have a hum.
Let's go on Spitfire. Yeah, let me take care of it. I'll get rid of this thing.
Yeah, it sounds like a 60 cycle hum. It's buzzing away.
I can hear it too.
Where'd old JR get off to? He alluded to the fact he was going to come back, but now I have my doubts.
Okay, how's that?
I think it's gone.
Cool. Well, I apologize for getting your handle mixed up.
No, like I said, I didn't take that as an insult. I took it as a compliment. If I'm sounding like Night Train, I'm doing something right.
Yeah, well, I just changed up my whole setup. I was telling a bunch of guys last night installed a brand new antenna tower.
Yeah, well, you're sounding good. I think that's the loudest I ever heard you.
Yeah, I'm hearing you really good too. Well, and I'm running barefoot too.
Yeah, well, you're just about S9 on this old antique Utica town and country.
Nice, well, that's good news. Yeah, I'm running the console too. I hope I didn't miss check-in.
Well, check-in is from 8 to 10, so you're in the window for the classic radio roundup.
Cool. Yeah, well, yep, I'm running the SPE console 2, and with that, I got a A99 on top of a military surplus Vietnam era antenna tower.
Hey, whatever it takes to get the antenna up is all that matters, but it seems to be working. You're coming in here quite well.
Cool. What's your 20?
Somewhere around Sanatoga, two miles north of Renegade off the Sanatoga exit, 422.
Okay, yeah, gotcha. Yeah, I got Saratoga pretty good over here.
Where are you at? Aren't you Bally or something?
No, I'm out here in Trap.
Oh, you're the other way. Why did I think you were up in Bally? Yeah, you're in Trap, so yeah, you're the other direction from me. All right, yeah. Well, Trap ain't all that far away from where I'm at.
No, not really. Yeah, that's one thing I noticed getting into this hobby. It's really hard to recognize people's voices and get their names associated with them without meeting them in person.
Well, I get people figured out if they're regular. If they're irregular and only pop in once in a while, I have to be refreshed. But I know what everybody sounds like that's regularly here. And after you said Meatball Bandit, yeah, I recognized you, and you're getting to be regular, so it won't be long before I'll know who you are. But you got a different radio and or microphone going on from what you typically run, so you're sounding a bit louder than what I remember.
Yeah, that's surprising. I'm running this KPO power mic I got from Scott'sRadios.com.
Yeah, because when you first started popping in here, weren't you using some kind of rinky-dink dipole or something, horizontal or something silly?
Oh man, I mean, when I first started doing it, it was a little wheel on top of my truck, and it just wasn't working. And then I got a 899 and some pipe from the hardware store and put that up. So slowly but surely, I'm getting everything sorted out to it's actually being a decent little CB station.
Yeah, well, that's usually how it goes. Progressive improvements. That's a typical approach, you know. You get it good, and then you find out, oh, I could do better, and then you go better, and it's always the way. But yeah, you're doing way better than what I remember, and you're really banging in here tonight.
Cool. Yeah, that's good news. Yeah, like I said, I relocated my whole setup into another area, the home. Reinstalled my coax and got that tower up with the antenna, and yeah, that's good to hear. I'm just glad I don't have to take that thing down and start playing with those damn tuning rings on the antenna.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, like progressive improvements, and there you are. Now you're just like up there, like all the other locals, somewhere near my S9.
Cool. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you. But I can't hold it all up. I just want to check in.
Well, there's nothing to hold up tonight. It's kind of a light crowd tonight, so we can get into some long-winded conversations, and we've sort of done that off and on. So yeah, it's not a typical crowded roundup, but enough to keep things going.
I can hear Meatball Bandit, but he gives me like an S5.
Really? Because he's only down in Trap. That's only like not even 5 miles away, I don't think.
Yeah, I know. I'm surprised. I could hear him. I could have a conversation with him, but he's giving me, like I said, he's giving me an S5. Yeah, I'm getting the same from your end. Use that out there.
He's asking who you are, Wayne.
Oh, Meatball Bandit, Renegade. Wayne. Oh, what's going on, Renegade? Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, man, you're hitting me with the same thing. 5 on my console too, and this meter's it's pretty accurate.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm only 2 miles north of Wayne, and you're giving me an S9.
That's the antenna height difference.
That might have something to do with it. But I'm probably hitting him a lot stronger because, well, the antenna heights and more power. Friend of mine that lives in London Grove, Pennsylvania. It's down the bottom of the bottom of the state, 36 miles straight south of us. He sent me a video gate, and last week I was hitting him with 4S units down there at the bottom of the state, straight south.
What was that again?
No, I was just telling Wayne, but in general, last week a friend of mine was video gating from his home in London Grove. It's 36 miles straight south of here, through a bunch of hills, and he sent me a video gate where I was giving him an S4, and he was using a ham antenna, a horizontal wire antenna, and I was giving him an S4. I was pretty happy with that.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, so I'm pretty confident I can get out 35 miles plus and still be heard.
Yeah, man, that's not bad at all. That's what I'm shooting for.
Height is might, because even if you add power, if your antenna can't hear them, can't work them if you can't hear them. If they can hear you and you can't hear them, it's a waste.
Yeah, so that's what I'm slowly learning. How high is your antenna?
85 feet to the bottom of the antenna.
Oh, 85 feet from the bottom. Whoa.
Yeah, plus the rest of the antenna, another, 21 feet or something like that. It's an IMAX 2000.
Nice. And that's 5/8 wave, right?
10-4, Roger.
Yeah, I think that's going to be my next investment.
Yeah, like that's the best you can do for an Omni antenna is a 5/8 wave, and I think it's worth the jump because I've had A99s in the past, and I've had 5/8 various makes and models in the past, and the 5/8 waves always do better than the end-fed half waves. They're not bad, but let's face it, the 5/8 is better.
Yeah. I bought this last one I had. That I have now. I got it from the ham radio outlet down there in Delaware, and the 5/8. I think it was an IMAX 2000. I honestly forget, but it most likely was. I think it was like hell, I think $40, $50 more.
Which is ridiculous because it's that's kind of ridiculous. It's amazing to me. Back when I first started playing CB radio in the mid '70s, the radios were expensive and the antennas were cheap. Now it's going the other way where the antennas are expensive and the radios are cheap.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I guess it really depends on which radio you're looking at.
Well, I mean, like back then, any radio was expensive. Used, new, it didn't matter. Crappy, good, they're all expensive. But the antennas were cheap. And now you can pick up a good used radio for cheap. But the antenna's going to cost you some money.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Right now I got a high gain tri beam or whatever you call it. I'm not gonna set that up until I actually commit to going in the ham. But I looked those things up, man. Those things are definitely far from cheap.
Oh, I think you're talking about the high gain tri-bander. They're good antennas. I have a Mosley 3-element tri-bander, and I'm glad I bought it when I bought it because what they cost now, I couldn't afford it.
Yeah, how much was that? Like what? Like $800 to $1,000?
Yeah, I think they're going for close to $1,000 now. I got it for like $250, and I thought that was a lot of money at the time, but I've had it for I don't know 25 years or so.
Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, I'm impressed with how long they last. Yeah, this whole setup, I got this military surplus radio tower with a bunch of coax. It doesn't have the ends. I had to cut a bunch of this stuff out. So I got that stuff, and then the high gain all for free.
Yeah, well, that's a good deal. Yeah, if it's a tri-band beam, you get your ticket, you'll be off and running. I assume it's 10, 15, and 20 meters. It's typically what they are.
Yeah, that's what I was told. I'm still learning, but yeah, man, it was family out in Phoenixville. They put a post out there on Facebook saying like their parents passed away and they're selling the parents' house. And I guess their father, he was a ham, and he had antennas and wires running from the house to the separated garage, and had the whole tower and the antenna on the side of the garage. And they just said, take it down. We're trying to sell the house. We just need it cleaned up. Whoever comes first takes it.
Sounds like you're describing my house. Antennas here, antennas there, wires over here, some more wires over there. But yeah, that's the way to get the stuff, man. Somebody just don't want it, come and take it down.
Oh yeah. I got really lucky on that deal. The only bummer about it is I can't find parts or any extra tubes for this antenna tower. And right now the tower is 25 feet. It's 5-foot section tubes, and I have like maybe like about like 9 to 10 foot pipe on top of that with my A99.
Well, you can only go up from there, but it's a good start.
Yep.
The more antennas, the better.
That's right. I'm a firm believer. I need more than one antenna, because the variations antennas, especially when you get on the different HF bands, like you could have two of the identical antenna orientated different, and each one's going to work different than the other. It's amazing. Vertical antennas, horizontal antennas, variation. They all make a difference. Sometimes this one's better. Sometimes that one's better. Oh, I'm a firm believer in more than one antenna.
Yeah, that's what I'm slowly realizing. Hey, let me ask you guys a question. So I wasn't really told this, but excuse me. Is there a possibility of an antenna being too close to another one? Will it affect it?
Well, that depends on how close and which bands. You know, I got my VHF UHF antenna just above my HF beam, and they don't care. But you can't put an A99 here and another A99 a foot away from it. That will have an interaction. So it really depends on the polarization of the antenna and the band of the antenna, and whether one's vertical and one's horizontal. Like you could put a vertical antenna right on top of a horizontal antenna, they don't care. Like you could put an IMAX 2000 or the A99 on the same mast and have your tri-band high gain just below it, and they won't care. But you can't put the I don't know. It really depends on what antennas you're talking about and what frequency ranges they are. But generally speaking, if you do it right, no, they don't care.
Oh man, that's awesome. Yeah, you pretty much answered my question right there.
Yeah, you can put your vertical on the same mast right above your beam, and the beam won't care. The vertical won't care.
Now, what about a scanner antenna? Because I know that covers a whole bunch, but it's kind of different.
What are you talking about? Like one of them disc cones or whatever?
I gotta look up the exact name and what it's called. I know it's called a maxi antenna, maxtana. I got off of eBay, and it's for my scanner. I had it hooked up a little bit ago, like last year, for tracking down or listening to aircraft. And I got a USB dongle for tracking aircraft, and I was just curious if I had that too close to them, if that would affect it.
Well, again, if you could put it on the same mast above your horizontal beam, but I wouldn't put it, right next to my vertical. I wouldn't put a VHF. It's a VHF UHF scanner antenna, but I wouldn't put that right next to my CB vertical or anything. I'd put it off somewhere else, and just you could put that on a small little mast on a vent pipe or chimney mount or something like that. I wouldn't have it too close, but if it's a few feet away from another vertical antenna, that's fine, but I wouldn't put it right next to it.
Okay, yeah. That's pretty much what I was asking. Like, like a few feet, like 5 feet, 10 feet, or more.
Well, if you really want to get down to it, I back in the late '90s, I ran HF and VHF out of my pickup truck. So I had an 11 meter 102 whip in one stake pocket. I had a 40-meter vertical stick in another stake pocket. I had a VHF 2-meter antenna in the center. Had one of them aluminum diamond plate toolbox things, so I mounted that on the center. And then off to another side, I had horizontal loop antennas for 2-meter single sideband. And then I had another on the cab of my roof. I had a 220 vertical, and then I had off another stake pocket a UHF vertical. So I had all kinds of antennas just scattered around my pickup truck. So yeah, you could get away with it.
He would be hard to miss.
Yeah, I mean, if you could get away with that in the area of a pickup truck, you know what I mean? Like, you got to kind of space things out so they ain't on top of each other, but you could have them all close enough where everything works fine.
I got you on that. Yeah, man. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, like you got to kind of do it. Like think about the wavelength and whether it's horizontal, vertical. And then there's the extreme case, and you're being kind of new. It'll be hard to picture, but Wayne remembers the Borg spacecraft. So when I'm done, Wayne, you just chime in and yeah, the Borg spacecraft. So this guy, he was a VHF UHF guy. So he had 6 meters, 2 meters, 220, 440, 903, 1296, 2304, and what is it, 53 something, 5300. Anyway, he had all these beams, and they were stacked beams for each of these bands. And he put them all on a mast. And he had to do some work with the SWR and field strength meters to get the placement right. But he had them all on the same mast, all on this. It turned out to be a block. I don't know if you're a Star Trek guy or whatever it was, but the Borg spacecraft. If you know what the Borg spacecraft looked like, that's what all this conglomeration of beams, all close together like that. That's what it looked like. It's kind of hard to describe, but trying to give you the best picture I can. And when I saw that and I asked him about it, I'm like, oh. So there is a way you could get all these antennas close to each other without them affecting each other. But they were all, different wavelengths and different bands. But even that close together, if you didn't do it right, one would affect the other. But if you placed them just so and did measurements, you could find sweet spots for it all. And that opened my eyes. So, okay, there is a way to get this stuff done if you have to.
Yeah, I can testify to that. His antenna looked like the Borg spacecraft. If you know what that was.
That was Star Trek Next Generation, right?
I'm looking it up right now, but I'm having a hard time trying to find it.
That was Star Trek Next Generation, right, Wayne?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, it looked like the Borg spacecraft. That's what we called it. But it was all these VHF, UHF, SHF stacked beam antennas, and all placed in a way that I thought, well, they're all too close together. That can't work. But he explained it in such a way with quarter wavelength spacings on all these bands and this and that. And then I went and did something not quite the extreme, but when I was in a VHF, UHF, I stacked my 6 meter, 2 meter, and 220 on one mast, and then stacked my 432, 903, and 1296 on another mast. And I had each beam a quarter wavelength of the higher frequency above the lower frequency beam, and it freaking worked. So when people say you can't place antennas too close to each other, well, you can if you do it right.
Yeah, I'm a witness to that. This was a big cube of antennas, and everything was working properly.
So when people tell you can't put antennas too close to each other, they'll interact. Well, that's only partially true and only part of the story. If you do it right, you can do it. Come on, Breaker.
Well, I was trying to get in there, say hello to the boys before it be all over.
Hey, I called your name, but I didn't do it 3 times, so that must have been my mistake. Hello, Night Train. Welcome to the Classic Radio Roundup, Spitfire 441 on this antique flea market radio.
Hello there, Spitfire. Yeah, man, I was trying really hard to get in there, but I had a few things around the house to do, and it just, I don't know. It just takes the best of my evening, but anyhow, evening out there. Night Train Base Station. Hello, Wayne. Hello, Pete. Let's see. I thought I heard Skyrider, but I wasn't sure. I don't know who all those voices are.
Well, that's
Skyrider. Get you, Night Train.
Hey, Wayne.
Skyrider wasn't here, but he hasn't said anything for a while. Currently, it's the Meatball Bandit. Rooster's in here. Renegade John was in here. JR did a flyby. I know there was somebody else. I'm not coming up with it. But it hasn't been crowded tonight, so we've been just carrying on.
I'm still listening. I'm messing around with my computer and programming the radio.
All right, so there, Skyrider's still here, and I think there was another break.
Breaker is Pyro.
Who? Pyro?
Yeah, it's been a while.
I remember you, Pyro. Night Train waving back.
Waving back to you as well.
Where are you at, Pyro? Spitfire wants to know.
I'm in just south of Warwick.
Just south of where?
Warwick Park.
You're breaking up on your audio a little bit, but I think you said Warwick Park, so I know where that's at. That's a little bit of ways from where I'm at. I'm hearing you all right, except sound like you got a loose grip on your mic or something.
I'll take a look at it.
Yeah, it didn't do it that time. It's just like you're cut out a syllable or two here and there. So I don't know, but you're otherwise doing well. Hello, Pyro. Welcome to the Roundup.
Pyro, it's been a long time, man. Night Train just wants to say hello.
Night Train, it's been a while. Thank you.
Yeah, it's been a little while, man. You have to make your... Well, it's getting colder now, so I guess we'll be in there to temperate.
Roger that.
Hello there, Skyrider.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, I'm a little late, but I guess it's better than nothing at all.
Late's better than not at all. Absolutely.
You made it.
Yeah, what's going on, Wayne?
Nothing, just out here sandbagging, listening to everybody chatting away.
Cool. And Pete's right. Those antennas, they do have an effect on one another if they get to be too close.
Yeah, but if you do it right, you can do it.
Yeah, sometimes you can make a flat beam become a ground plane for a vertical. You know, there's other things that work together, there's other things that just don't.
That's right. That's right. It all depends the antennas we're talking about and how close you want them together. So like 2 verticals next to each other don't work out so well unless, one's VHF and one's HF. As long as they're a little bit away from each other, you can get away with it. But the same band or near band, you can't do it. But a vertical above a horizontal, they can be real close to each other, and it don't matter, just as long as the beam ain't going through the vertical. But if it's just below it, it may even help out the vertical.
Hello, Night Train.
Hello there, Rooster. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. Those big gigantic towers are a perfect example of that. They run all kinds of different things on them towers. Police repeaters and, all kinds of things that we don't know about. Them big old giant towers, radio stations, and they put them antennas on different levels. They strategically place those antennas.
Yeah, but there's something else going on there, especially with repeaters and some of the other stuff. They got band pass, band reject filters on their transmitters and receivers. So it'll keep anything that's not in their passband out. So they're using a little something extra besides the spacing.
Well, that's nice. Yeah, but yeah, they're close by. I remember years ago, we used to get WPEN on our walkie-talkies. That tower was so close.
Yeah, well, that was probably just getting in some other way. That didn't have anything to do with antenna placement. That was just your close proximity to a wideband receiver.
I listened to the Muhammad Ali Frazier fight at Madison Square Garden on my walkie-talkie.
You should have seen the Borg spacecraft in New Jersey. It would just like change your whole way of thinking how things worked.
That opened my eyes when we went there. Didn't you ride one of my BSAs or something? Didn't we both go over on my BSAs, if I remember right?
Yeah, I was one of the smaller one with a broken foot handle.
Yeah, you were on the 250 and I was on the 441, and we rode over there and checked out the Borg spacecraft. Once you see that thing, it made your whole thought about arranging antennas like all different. It changed your whole thinking about it.
That's right. It changed my whole way of thinking about it, and to the positive.
So tell us a little bit about it.
I was glad we went that day. That guy was cool. Go ahead, Wayne. I gave the description of the Meatball Bandit. You could fill in the Night Train.
Well, I don't know. The guy had square feet of antenna up there with all kinds of bands. And like I said, if you've seen the Star Trek episode where they showed the Borg spacecraft, that's what it looked like. And these antennas were like so close to each other, it was unbelievable. But they were all phased properly, and they worked on all the bands that they were supposed to. Like I said, it was a Borg spacecraft. You had to see it to believe it.
I wish we'd have had smartphones at the time, because I would have for sure taken a picture of that thing. I would have loved to have a picture of that. It was 6 meters through like 5304, all the ham bands in between, all VHF, UHF, SHF, all them bands with stacked antennas. It wasn't just single beams, but each band was like a minimum of 2 antennas, and I think the higher bands were stacked 4s. And he crammed it all into, like, I don't know, what was the thing? Maybe, I don't know. Let's say it was like a 6-foot square cubed almost. It was unreal.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. It was like a 6-foot square cube on top of this rotor that he could turn around.
Oh wow! Yeah, that sounds impressive.
It was really impressive, and at the time, Star Trek Next Generation was on, and I remember seeing the episode with the Borg, and that's the first thing to hit my head. That thing looks like the Borg spacecraft. And Wayne and I have been referring to it as the Borg spacecraft ever since. I guess that was sometime in the late 90s we made that trip, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's about right. And I'm telling you, I can't imagine anything more incredible than what I saw that night.
That guy must have been some type of engineer.
He is the owner and operator and builder of Down East Microwave Products. You probably never heard of him, but if you're a VHF, UHF, SHF weak signal guy, you have heard of him. He's still in business, but he moved down south, I think, to Florida. He packed up from New Jersey and moved to Florida, and still has the business. He makes transverters, amplifiers, and all kinds of accessory gear for VHF and above weak signal stuff.
Wow, yeah, that sounds impressive. How's this radio sounding, Pete?
Sounds good to me. It sounds like you always do. It's train approved.
Man, fool, I just had to check because I'm so late getting on classic radio roundup.
Well, since you asked, I'm going to have to ask, what do you think of this Utica, town and country too?
It's nice. It is. It's very nice, in fact. Funny thing of it is, though, is Wayne is so low and you're so high, but both your signals are about the same. And if I try to turn him up, you'll blast me out my front door.
Well, not much I can do about it. It is what it is. It's only a 4-knob radio, 6 channels, crystal controlled, gold face and chrome case.
Pete's radio squeaks though.
That's my chair, and I'm not going to oil it.
That's how you can tell. That's how you can tell who's throwing the carriers, years ago when guys used to get in there and throw carriers, they would have little things that were going on, and they might not really know it, and you can kind of identify it. Well, yeah, that's Pete, because I could hear the squeak of his chair.
Is that any better?
Yeah, that's better. Thank you, Wayne.
Could be Sandbagger. He has a squeaky chair too that he refuses to oil.
Lightning and I got one too. It sounded like a cat meowing in the background.
Pete's chair sounds like he got an echo in his squeak.
So you're sounding good tonight, man.
Remember Snowman? Just from you keying up, he knew who it was. You didn't even have to say anything.
Here, Pete. Have a good night. Wayne, whoever else is in here, good night to all, and to all, a good night. I gotta head out. See ya. Bye.
Oh, man, another flyby by the JR. Well, at least you checked in. Have a good night. Till the next time around. Old JR.
Yeah. I heard you, JR. Catch you. See you later, JR.
Remember Snowman? He knew who it was. You didn't have to say anything. Just from the key up of your radio, he knew who it was. And I don't care if you had more than one radio. He'd still pick you out.
Well, I remember that. He said, I know it was you because I know the key up in your microphone. Whoever it was, he busted him.
Man, that guy, that was something else. That was a talent he had.
Well, it made up for the lack of, one of his senses. But I was told one time, I think it was by him, I'm not sure. But he was working in the garage. He was doing auto mechanic work, and the police came. And they wondered, who's in this place at night like this, and, who's sneaking around in the dark. And they questioned him about that thing. He said, I'm working. He said, well, how can you work in the dark? They suspected him of being a thief. You know what I mean? And he says, well, I'm blind, so it doesn't make a difference whether the lights are on or off. He said, I'm perfectly fine. What would the sense be in putting lights on?
A good one.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he worked for, his name just went out of my head. Joe. He worked for Joe, 64, at Last Chance Auto. And I still go over to see Joe to get my work done, but I've gone over there, and there's old Snowman working underneath the car. Car's on a lift. It's all dark under there. Anybody else would be having a drop light. No, not Snowman. He don't need no stinking drop light. He work in the dark. It don't matter if there's light or not light. So yeah, I can see it being quite like, what do I need lights for? I can't see anyway.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, I seen him working underneath the car, all in the dark, and it struck me. I'm like, oh yeah, well he doesn't need any light. Can't see anyway.
Break.
Go, Skywriter.
Hey, good evening. I'm a Trevor. Sent you greetings tonight. Hey, it's my witching hours too. Quite some interesting conversations tonight, and I got my radio now also programmed for the 12-meter band, so off we go. Another place to play tomorrow. So, hey, you guys have all a good night. Who's all still left there? I think Rooster is still there, and Countywide, and everybody there in the roundup. Have a pleasant night, and hey, good conversations. I see you next time.
Nice guy, Ryder.
Yeah, good night, Sky Rider. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed the conversation, all over the place it may have been. But yeah, have fun on the ham bands, man. You have a good time. Report back to us here and tell us what you did. Even though I don't need to do that sideband stuff anymore. I'm an AMer, but still like to keep tabs of what's going on and who's doing what. And it's all fun, so keep us informed. And on that, I'm going to bow out gracefully myself. It's just about 15 after 10, so I got to go myself. Good fun on the Classic Radio Roundup as always. And we'll say 7-3 all. Your county-wide radio on this antique flea market Utica radio.
Hey, Pete, before you go, just I want to put a note on there. This is the Handic CB radio. That's what this is.
Oh, don't get caught playing with your Handic in the dark.
I knew something like that would happen, but I figured, listen, I got to be able to get on with this thing. It just so happens that that's the name of the radio. It's actually Handic. 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 The 2305. It is the stock mic because that's the only thing that I have to work with it that I know of.
I didn't know you had one of them Handics. The only one I ever knew on the Roundup to ever have one was Sparky. So I don't know if that's where you got it. You got it recently or you've had it, but it's the first I've ever heard you on it. First I'm aware of it. And it's more fun to say Handic than Hondic. Anyway. Yeah, those are pretty good radios. Never had one myself, but they look cool and they always sound good, so there you are.
Well, it wasn't Sparky, it was me. But everybody used to beat me up so bad when I get it on, you know. I actually have two of them. One's downstairs, but it doesn't have channel 13 crystal working. And this one does. But yeah, that was me. That wasn't Sparky.
I'm pretty sure Sparky's got one too.
Well, I think he copied off of me then, but yeah, years ago I came in there with that, and well, everybody I'm like, man, you know what? Let me just put this thing away.
Hey, we're men. We may get older, but we never grow up. Come on.
Gotta get used to it. Well, yeah, I don't know how they had to do that, man. Well, then again, the guy was from Sweden. He's from Sweden. That was no doubt probably his last name.
Yeah, I knew they were European. Probably, yeah, Swedish makes sense. And it was something, it certainly sounds Scandinavian. And I vaguely remember some of history about it, whatever. But yeah, we just because we get older doesn't mean we grow up. Still a kid, just old. All right, I'll go back out of here. And Meatball Bandit, hey, it was good to hear you on. Skyrider's gone. Renegade. If the other Renegade's still in there. And Rooster, Night Train. If I left anybody out, don't feel slighted. 7-3, thanks for the fun. See you on Sunday night on Lower Sideband or next Wednesday if you can't make that. Spitfire 441, taking this Utica and turning it off.
Catch you there, Pete. Meatball Bandit, Skyrider, if you're still listening, catch y'all. Later.
I didn't even get a chance to talk to Meatball Bandit. If you hear me, if you're still in there, hello, Night Train Raven.
Hi, Pete.
I think he was still in there. He's still there, Meatball?
Yeah, man, I'm still here. Yep, yeah, just waving goodbye to you and Skyrider. I'll catch you guys on the flip flop, but
You know, Trey, I got you there.
Roger. What you running tonight for Classic Radio Roundup?
I got my console 2 on.
Alright, yeah. How's this one sounding coming over there?
You know, not too good.
What do you mean?
I mean, I'm hearing you, but there's a whole bunch of static and fuzz in the background.
Oh, that mean I would have to put fire in my wire?